guys, welcome back to my channel, My Broken Budget. I'm Nikita, and today we will be doing a closeout for the month of January. Um, it will technically be a half month closeout because I started this journey with my second paycheck in January. I technically did track the bills and confirm that they were paid, but I technically was doing a different method than like the true budget by paycheck method. So I wrote out the calendar, and I technically used a Colomer book to track my last paycheck in December, my first paycheck in January, and my second paycheck in January. And then I just wrote out my expenses in the order in which they were due. And then based on that paycheck, I just wrote them in that particular column. And then as the transactions were confirmed through my bank or processed through my bank, I would cross them out. Excuse me. This is, I'm still tracking my expenses this way, but I'm more or less using the Colomer to track, like, other than household. So I actually use the Budget Moms expense tracker to the best of my ability. So I wrote down any transaction that I completed from my accounts. I didn't do any cash stuffing in January because I was more transitioning to this new budgeting method, but I wanted to do most of the steps within that budgeting method. So I tracked my expenses. I used the highlighter method. I highlighted the categories to the best of my ability. Some of the categories I think will change with February because I'm realizing that I need to track them differently. And I'm realizing that I move a lot of money between accounts. So in the month of January, I had over $2,000 in cash transfers from one account to another, or when I was borrowing from upcoming paycheck. So that technically would have been part of the cash transfer. So you got my checks being deposited in my main account, so a portion of my check being deposited in another spending account, and I would have to transfer it back to cover the bills. And then I had over $7,000 in deposits, which again, some of this is borrowing from a previous paycheck. So I tracked my transactions starting with the 2nd of January. Some of these transactions probably initiated in December, but when they process in January. So that's why I documented them. I did document my starting balance. My starting balance was $946.60. Again, most of that is probably bill money. Let's see, what else can I talk about? So I tracked all of my expenses as far as my bills, and then any spending within the account that was not part of my bills or in addition to my bills is tracked here. And then I did, again, started with my second check in January. I did an initial budget worksheet, and then I did a secondary budget worksheet to care for the second half of, or the last little bit of transactions that had not posted, or the last bills that hadn't posted, plus some additional income I was able to receive to help me get current on some bills. So we walk through that budget in a video together. If you want, I can link it below. And so going with the highlighter method, I highlight transactions on my budget worksheet as they are processed, or not necessarily paid, but as they're processed through my bank. And then the red that you see is me carrying for an increase. So like for YouTube TV, I budgeted $72.99. It actually processed for $76.93. HBO Max, I budgeted for $15.99. It actually processed for $16.95. And then this Apple transaction, I did not account for it, so that's an additional $10.59. So when I realized this, I went through all of my subscriptions to see what was I paying. Do I need this subscription? Is it something that I can cancel? I did end up canceling my Apple subscription, but I also, because I was transferring so much money, I realized that I need to pull my money, or my transaction should only come out of my bill account. And so I went through all of the automatic payment setup that I have and ensured that they were coming out of that main bill account. And then that way it's easier to track out of the one account, and then I can just move cash if needed into my spending account. My plan is to continue with cash stuffing, because I think it will help keep me on budget. Because I mean, household, this is mostly bills. I'm gonna, again, I have to redo these categories, but this is mostly like what you see on this paper. You know, all of the things that I'm tracking from like a paycheck perspective. Food, the fact that I spent over $1,000 on food is ridiculous. I don't budget $1,000 for food. And the fact that I went so far over what I do budget lets me know this is one category that where my money goes, and likely why I was in the position that I was, where I had to catch up on my bills. So I'm definitely working on reducing that amount in February, because I'm trying to stick to the budget. For February, if you haven't seen that, I budgeted very little for food, because my plan is to only cook at home. We'll see how well that works. Gas, if you haven't seen that video, I only budget a certain amount for gas because I have teenagers who get rides to work, and part of their responsibility is to cover the gas to get that ride to work. Anything that I do put in gas is just to fill in, because I do go places. Miscellaneous, I could probably break this out, but for any category that I didn't already establish, I just broke it out into miscellaneous. That was just $107. So again, didn't budget for that. Because I came into this mid-month, I didn't write out what I actually budgeted for household food or gas. Gas is probably right on point, if not under. Food way over. Household, that looks, that looks appropriate. For fun, I didn't budget anything, and we spent $66.08. For February, I technically did budget some, kid activities. So again, these two could likely go together as kid activities or family fun or whatever. For baseball or sports, I spent $24. Debt, I totaled $1,542.86. So yes, debt was $1,542.86. That's likely what I budgeted. I have not started making extra debt payments. For business, it's a new category. I spent $8.74. Streaming, I budgeted $157.57, but because there was some additional or unexpected, and a few were more than anticipated, we came in with an overage of $20.88. I do have gambling here. I don't typically gamble, but last month I did gamble $15. So that's there. I do have categories for unplanned and utilities. I likely will redo these budget categories in February, and then I'll have household and streaming, and then debt as like the main categories, because that's essentially what I'm paying with my bills. And then food, gas, miscellaneous, everything else will be, kind of secondary categories that I will budget for. I mean, I budget for everything, but household, I really don't spend anything addition for household. Most of it is usually wrapped up into my food budget. I buy laundry, soap, cleaning supplies, whatever with my grocery budget. As I progress through this system, I'm hoping to kind of pull that out so that I can track that spending more easily. All right, let's see. And then this is also from the Budget Moms workbook. This is the bill tracker. And so I've already filled it out. Again, these are the bills that I pay each month and everything processed. I've got whether it's auto pay or not. And then I have 3 yearly bills. So I've got Amazon Prime, Costco, and then Sam's Club. So I do need to start and at least trying to budget for these 2, or what I may end up doing for this year is just paying it from that paycheck for the ones in March, and then add it as a budget category moving forward and just divide it up by however many months, so that come March of 2025 I already have it, don't have to care for it. And then with Costco, I'm going to incorporate that into my budgets because it's not due until September. So that is it in a nutshell. I'm hoping that for the month of February, this will be a little bit more organized. I'll have my categories set up more specific. And then I am still tracking my expenses. You guys saw that in a recent video. I'm using the Columnar book. And so, yeah, this is January in a nutshell. We're closing that out. All bills have been processed. All transactions have been paid. And so we can move on to February. I appreciate you joining me today to do my January budget closeout. Go ahead and give this video a like if you are new here and you are enjoying the content that I'm putting out. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can come back and be notified anytime I post, and you can follow me along this journey of getting my finances in order and hopefully paying down some of my debt. Bye guys.